I think heartbreak is designed to teach you lessons. I think everything bad that happens to you as a man is designed to teach you lessons. I think that's why God gives them to you. You're never going to be a good man unless you've suffered. Good men have been through a lot of bad things, and you have to realize why she left or why your heart is broken so that you can change certain things and grow. I think that the worst men on earth are the ones who haven't had enough pain. You're supposed to suffer as a man. You're born to suffer. The whole reason God put men on this planet is to suffer. And the best men are the ones who suffered the most. I wouldn't be top G if I didn't suffer more than anyone else. You're a better man than everyone else if your life was a mess and it was a hardship. Because you're not what happens to you, you are how you react to it. And the best men on earth are men who have had their parents die, their best friends betray them, their girl betray them, thrown in jail, their money stolen, stabbed, robbed. And every time something happened to them, they sat there and they looked in the mirror and said, what can I learn from this? How can I stop this happening? Those are the best men. Those are the men respect. Those are the men women want. Why do women love scars? Look, they tried to kill him and they can't. That's why I want him. The best men suffered. You find a man who's never been through suffering and nobody gives a shit about him. Men don't like him and women don't like him. Men are no good without it. If you're an intelligent person and you crash your car, you sit and say, how did this happen? Was I driving too fast? No. Whose fault was it? Well, an amateur will say, it's their fault. They came speeding out at me. A professional will say, no, they came speeding out at me. Why couldn't I avoid them? Why couldn't I move? Why didn't I see it? Why am I on this road in the first place? Like a professional analyzes everything from a position of what they could do about it, having control over all things. And it's the same with heartbreak. If you ask an amateur why his heart's broken, well, she left me because of blah, blah, and he'll just blame her like a dumbass. She's arrogant. She doesn't listen to me. Her friends convinced her to cheat. She wants this, that, instead of saying, I don't have what it takes to keep her. I don't have what it takes to talk in a way that makes her not want to listen to her friends. I'm not important. So if you self-analyze everything, then everything happens for the same reason. No matter what bad thing happens to you, including heartbreak, it all happens for the same reason, for you to analyze and get feedback. If you were more important and more successful, she was less likely to leave you. That's the truth. The thing about life is you become a better person via feedback. You don't ever become a better person via anything else, especially not practice. People say practice makes perfect, and that's the biggest mistake. It's not true. Because I often get asked, Andrew, how do you speak the way you speak? And I say, well, feedback. And they say, well, you've practiced, right? Well, everyone practices how to talk. There's people who've been alive 30 years longer than me and practicing to speak longer than I have. Don't speak the way I speak, for example. It's just an example. You have to feedback. You have to watch yourself talk. You have to see where you've made mistakes. You have to see where you say, like. You have to remove it consciously. You need feedback to improve. So if a woman left you, that's feedback. Learn the lessons and make sure it doesn't happen again. Or sit and blame her and pretend it's nothing to do with you, and then wait for it to happen to you again, because it will. That's how life works. Like, feedback I got from jail, or my father dying, or heartbreak, or being stabbed, or whatever it is, all of these things happen for you to learn from them. And everybody in life has these events, and everybody in life has these traumas they can learn from, but most people are too stupid, or too arrogant, or too cowardly to sit down, blame themselves, look in the mirror, analyze the entire situation as if it was their fault, and see what they can do to prevent it from happening again. If I get wet in the rain, I blame myself. Why didn't I bring an umbrella? Why was I outside? Why was the car not nearer? Why didn't I check the weather? It's all me. Whereas the average person goes, why are you wet? It rained. And it's not their fault, because the sky rains. It's not my fault. I can't stop the sky raining. Whereas I believe I could have stopped myself getting wet even if I can't stop the rain. It's a mentality.
Heartbreak teaches you the power of understanding that in life, things will always get better if you try to make them better. There were girls who I dated when you were still a baby. So let's say I was 20 years old. And she was 19 years old, I was 20 years old, and we broke up for whatever reasons. This particular girl got some job where she had to move to London. And I was upset about it. If the heartbreak had never happened, well, I'd be that guy. I'd be with her now. I wouldn't have done all the great things that I've done. Heartbreak sucks, and you do have to deal with it. And again, know when to walk away without begging or humiliating yourself, especially in this day and age of DMs and messages being recorded and stuff. And each heartbreak, like with every bad event that happens in life, sets an important marker that you eventually look back on a longer timeline, and you see the growth and the self-improvement and maybe the hypothetical scenarios that would have happened had you stayed with that person or had you not been betrayed by that person. And yeah, it serves as very important markers on a timeline. But it's only once you progress a couple years past that timeline that you can see the knowledge in it. Unless you do it the wrong way and let it spiral you into down the toilet of self-destruction. In which case then you're like, oh, well, that's when my life went completely wrong. So no, that's when you chose to give up. They're two very different things. Well, heartbreak's fantastic. I wish my heart could still be broken. That would be nice. Well, men live for women. This is the point. Men live for women in every single way. If women didn't exist on this planet, everything about my life would be different. I'd have fast cars because I like driving. But a lot of the things that men do, a lot of the things we say, the way you dress, lots of it is about trying to attract women, trying to impress women, and trying to have women hold you in a high regard. Because if women in general hold you in a high regard, then you as a high value man have your pick of the best women on the planet. And there isn't a single red-blooded male out there in the world who doesn't like the idea of lots of different women being attracted to him. Even if he's got his wife and he's in love and it's the first girl he's ever been with and he's, I don't know, a Mormon or a Muslim or a Christian who's super involved. If you were to ask him, would you like to be unattractive to women or attractive to women just in general, he'd say attractive. Because it raises the impression people have of his wife, for example. So there's not a single man in the world who doesn't live for women in one way or another.
Women teach you a lot about how to get women, which is actually quite interesting. Like, they do. Women teach you a lot about how to get women themselves. If you want to piss a woman off, ignore her. Don't insult her. Just don't reply. And you should know that, because when did a woman annoy you most? She ignored you. That's right. So, like, you can learn so much from them. But women are the prize, effectively. Sexual access, or access to sexuality, has always been a prize for men that effectively had to be earned. You had to go to war and come back with a Valor Star, or you had to be a king or something to get access to sexuality. So women were the prize up until a certain point, and then if you're a high value enough man, you can say you become the prize, blah, blah. But effectively, women are a fantastic mirror. And how women treat you tell you a lot about yourself. Because women are ruthless. And if they don't see value in you, or if they don't see value they can extract from you, you're invisible to them. You know, you can go to a nice restaurant with a girl, and you can say, how many men are in here? She'll say, 3 or 4, and she'll ignore every waiter. If they can't get something from you, you're invisible. So how women treat you in general is a good mark for how much value you openly exude. If they can instantly see value on you, they'll talk to you and treat you a certain way. People think that beautiful women are really bitchy and rude. No, they're not. They're actually very nice and soft and sweet. They're actually quite shy and insecure, if you're that guy. But if you're not that guy, they're like, get the fuck away from me. Because they don't even want to bother having a conversation on any level because you don't exude enough value. So women are a mirror. They'll tell you everything you need to know about yourself. And you should pay attention to it and you should change it.
No one is ever going to give a shit about you, even 1% as much as you have to give a shit about yourself. No one cares. No one cares about you if you're a man, ever. Everything is conditional. You don't get loved unconditionally. And that's a beautiful thing, because that makes you strive to create your own value as a man. And the problem that men have is we all go from a time when everyone cares about us to a time no one does. Women don't lose it until they're maybe 45 and childless. And they'll be like, oh, what the fuck's going on? Now she understands what it's like to become a 15, 16, 17-year-old man.
Listen up, young kings. You're out there, maybe chilling in your room playing video games, thinking life's gonna hand you something just because you're a good dude. Let me hit you with some real talk. Nobody cares about you until you make them care. That's the cold, hard truth. And if you want to be somebody who matters, somebody who's respected, somebody who's loved, you've got to step up and build yourself into a man of value. It's not about what you feel, it's about what you do. So let's break it down and let's get you on the path to greatness. If you're ready to rise up, smash that subscribe button and let's dive in. I remember being a kid, man. My aunts, my uncles, they'd pat me on the head, call me little Tristan, slip me some candy, make me feel like the center of the universe. Back then, it felt like the whole world had my back. But then you hit 16, 17, 18, and boom, you're out in the cold. Bills piling up, fridge empty, and you're looking around like, where'd everybody go? Nobody's checking in, nobody's bringing you sandwiches anymore. Even your mom and dad, they're dealing with their own stuff. They might care, but it's not their job to carry you anymore. It's on you. You gotta care about yourself first. You've gotta protect yourself. And if you're still leaning on mom to baby you, you're setting yourself up to be a nobody. Let me paint a picture. You're 15, sitting in your room, controller in hand, snacks on the table, mom's still washing your clothes and cooking your meals. Feels good, right? But here's the trap. If you keep leaning into that, if you let her keep doing everything, you're not growing. You're not learning. You're not building the skills to survive out there. And when she finally says, you're 18, time to move out, or life hits you with a reality check, you're gonna be lost. You're gonna be that guy who's got nothing to offer, no skills, no hustle, no backbone. Nobody respects that guy. Nobody loves that guy. Nobody cares about that guy. Here's the advice every young man needs to hear, and I'm saying it loud for the ones in the back. Nobody gives a damn about you until you make it. You think the world's gonna roll out the red carpet just because you're nice? Nah, bro. The world doesn't care about your feelings, it cares about your value. It cares about what you bring to the table. People respect me now, they look up to me, they listen when I speak. Why? Because I didn't stay in my room playing Call of Duty till I was 30. I got up, I worked, I built myself into something. If I'd stayed comfortable, stayed small, stayed insignificant, you wouldn't even know my name. If this is hitting you, hit that subscribe button, and let's keep building that warrior mindset. Let's talk about love, because that's where it gets real. You can say you love your girl, your family, your dog, whatever, but if you're not capable, your love doesn't mean squat. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. If you love your dog, but can't afford to feed it, vet it, or keep it safe, what good is that love? If you love your girl but can't provide for her, protect her, or show her you're a man she can rely on, what's that worth? Love as a man is tied to your competence. It's tied to your ability to step up and handle business. A man who's got his act together, who's out there grinding, building, and protecting his love, carries weight. His love means something. A man who's broke, lazy, or lost, his love's just words. And words are cheap. I learned this the hard way. When I was 19, I was head over heels for this girl. Thought I could win her with sweet talk and promises. But I was broke, living in a rundown apartment, barely scraping by. I'd tell her, I love you, I'll give you the world, but I couldn't even pay for her coffee. She didn't stick around. And you know what? I don't blame her. I wasn't a man yet. I was a boy with big dreams and no hustle. That loss lit a fire under me. I swore I'd never be that guy again. I started working 2 jobs, hitting the gym, reading books, learning skills. I built myself into someone who could back up his words with action. And that's when the world started paying attention. That's when people started caring. So if you're out there, young blood, thinking you can skate by on good intentions, wake up. If you love someone, a girl, your family, your community, you got to show it through self-improvement. Don't buy her flowers every day. Buy yourself a gym membership and get strong. Don't just tell your town you love it. Start a business, create jobs, make it better. Don't just say you care, prove it by becoming a man who's capable, who's competent, who's undeniable. That's how you show love. That's how you make a difference. That's how you make the world give a damn. Let me break it down with another story. I grew up in a small town where nothing came easy. My dad worked long hours, my mom was always stressed, and I saw firsthand what happens when you don't take control of your life. There was this guy in our neighborhood. Everybody loved him, funny, charming, always talking about his big plans, but he never did anything. He'd sleep till noon, play video games all day, and complain when things didn't go his way. By the time he was 30, he was still living in his mom's basement, still talking about one day. Nobody cared anymore, nobody listened, he was invisible. That's what happens when you don't improve yourself. You fade, you become a ghost. Now contrast that with another guy I knew. He wasn't the smartest or the strongest, but he had heart. He got up every morning, worked a construction job, took night classes, saved every penny. He started a small landscaping business, hired a few guys from the neighborhood, gave them jobs. People respected him. His girl looked at him like he was a king. Why? Because he made himself valuable. He made himself matter. That's the blueprint. That's the path. If you're ready to follow it, subscribe to the channel and let's keep this fire burning. This ain't just about you though. It's about how the world sees men. I'm out here speaking, doing podcasts, sharing this message because I care about what it means to be a man today. I care about how we carry ourselves, how we show up. The world's watching, and too many guys are dropping the believing small, making excuses, letting life pass them by. That's not what we're built for. We're built to lead, to protect, to create. But you've got to earn it, you've got to prove it, and you don't need me to do that. You don't need my voice, my videos, my story. Everything I'm telling you, you already know deep down. I'm just here to remind you, you've got what it takes. You've just got to act on it. So To every young man out there, 13, 14, 15, or even 25, still figuring it out, hear me. Don't lean on mom forever. Don't expect the world to hand you anything. Don't think love or respect comes free. If you're sitting in your room, controller in hand, snacks on the table, it's time to wake up. Put the game down, pick up a book, hit the gym. Learn a skill, start a side hustle, do something to make yourself better today than you were yesterday. Because if you don't, you're not just letting yourself down. You're letting down everyone who's counting on you, your future wife, your future kids, your community. And don't let setbacks spiral you out. Life's gonna hit you hard. You might lose a job, a relationship, a dream. You might feel like the world's turned its back. Don't go burning bridges or drowning in self-pity. Don't let that moment define you. Use it. Let it fuel you. Let it push you to become the man you're meant to be. You don't need me to motivate you. You don't need anyone. You've got the spark inside you already. All you need is the courage to act. All you need is the discipline to keep going. All you need is the will to rise. This is your moment, young king. Right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you're ready. Today. You've got greatness inside you, waiting to be unleashed. But it's not going to come knocking. You've got to go get it. You've got to fight for it. You've got to build it. Improve yourself. Become capable. Become competent. Become the man who makes the world take notice. Because when you do, when you step into your power, you're not just changing your life, you're changing the game. You're showing every man out there what's possible. You're proving that real men don't just talk. They do. They rise. They win. So get up, get to work, make yourself undeniable. Show the world you're not just another nobody. You're a force. You're a legend in the making. And don't stop until you've claimed everything you're destined for. If you're ready to be that man, hit subscribe and let's keep pushing to the top.